I'm the managing director of MN Suez.
I am Mahadev Swedi. I am independent security researcher.
We'll be showcasing some vulnerabilities, and then we'll be talking about how the extensions in WordPress should be secured, and finally about the whole ecosystem of the website. Okay, this is the distribution of some vulnerabilities. Still, we can see that 18.87% of the vulnerabilities are still unknown. The system gets compromised, but we do not know what is the reason behind the application being compromised. And injection is definitely at the top, and scripting and DOS. So there are a few functions about the sanitation, and definitely output from the application also needs to be sanitized. Okay, we'll have a small demo on cell exploit. We have already uploaded a script on an application, and we'll be showing how a system can be compromised, or the sets of applications hosted on the same domain can be compromised. Okay, here's the script, and it's a set of functions. Okay, so what we have done is we have uploaded this shell, we have encoded this shell and just passed to the application as a plain text on base64 encoding, and then we have our one website where we will be compromising it.
We have uploaded a PHP shell, and now we'll show how it is so dangerous to host your website in shared hosting. And if your hosting provider is not good, it is not sufficient enough to block the symlinking bypass and some PHP functions which are used to connect from your web server to other websites using the same web server. So we have uploaded a PHP shell to our website cheaphostingnepal.com, and every website and every information shown here are legal because we all have permissions to access this website, and we encoded a PHP shell to the base64. You might have noticed when your website is hacked, generally hackers encode it in base64 to hide and make it short. So we did the same to show a demo. Now we are in the root directory of our website cheaphostingnepal.com. As you can see the WordPress files over here, and to access the other website in the same server, we have to do a symlinking, and we have to read the WordPress configuration files of the other websites. To do so, we also uploaded a symlinking code on our website, on our web server. As you can see, a lot of domains in the web server. These are domains. If these websites are dynamic, these can be easily hacked within the 10 minutes. Or we can route the web server to hack all dynamic websites at once. As you can see in the left is the domain name, and it has corresponding username, and we can do symlinking to get the information of WordPress configuration files. So to protect our WordPress configuration files, we have to give correct file permission like 440 or 400 or 600 depending on how your web server works. You can see WordPress configuration file over here. WordPress configuration file should not be readable, and if it is readable, we should not, or any attacker should not be able to save it. So if an attacker is able to read it, he can connect to your website database and he can change your admin password easy way. Just in this cell, we can connect to the database, or we can execute the PHP functions, or we can remotely execute any code to get access to your internal web server. So as PHP and MySQL have different security concerns, now you can see username, password and database field that we have a lot of more than 1000 websites in our web server. So we can connect to any dynamic website, like any dynamic website, running website, like we can get into the website running Joomla, we can get into the website running OpenCAD. We can get into the other website running WordPress. You know, in PHP there are like web server name disclosure. Right? When the PHP errors are not disabled in your websites, generally the web server information is disclosed, and this username are found to be disclosed. So we have to protect and block the PHP errors and warnings in our website. That we can do from either from php.ini, or we can also do it from some plugins. Symlinking is a type of process in a hacking science. Symlinking is a type of system in which we gain access to the other website in the same server. Like to do symlinking in GoDaddy and other web hosting companies like Bluehost, it is really hard, and we have to bypass some of the restriction. But our web hosting providers do not have symlinking restriction, and this is our intentional behavior that we made for this WordCamp. We are not going to upload any shell to the other websites, and we are not doing any nasty things, but we are going to teach how this works and how other hackers get into your website. We just can get a domain username, and we need to symlink WordPress configuration file, and we need to read the database information.
And how this small script can be vulnerable to all the applications hosted on a shared server. As told by Madhav, the bigger hosting companies, they are more focused on these sorts of issues, so it's pretty hard to come across them. But the few what we do the wrong thing is we go for very low priced options for hosting our applications, and then we may face similar problems, because one of the vulnerable app in among thousands of applications may lead to a whole system breach.
Just we are going to read WordPress configuration files, and because PHP files is not readable by ourselves, we are going to make it text files, and we are getting into the database of other website, and we are going to change the admin password. Then we can upload we can upload a shell, or we can upload. Okay, I'm just going to.
For applications, WordPress, we have few plugins, and they are really good. Exploit Scanner, it scans any exploit that is present on our system, and then there is Bulletproof Security, and all-in-one WP Security and Firewall. Okay, it has IPS and IDS, which detects the various intrusions or various based on the HTTP request, and blocking bad queries. It can filter some injections and scripts also, and a file name checker. So file permission are more important to any application. So these things we should be careful about all these things, and if we can use only one or two of these plugins, then it may help us to secure the application more. Also, selecting the security plugin. Okay, there are so many plugins that we can find on the web, but we just look at the image of two SQL injections in all-in-one WP Security WordPress plugin is found. So before we go and select, or before we install any security plugins to our application, then first let's check that whether there are any flaws on the application itself or not. So this is one prime thing, security application, and it also contains some vulnerabilities which may lead to system exploit.
Okay, so you mean to say that this plugin itself has the SQL injection vulnerability? What the
hell? So we have to be sure that it is not listed on the ExploitDB or somewhere, and before installing those plugins, just let's Google it and let's try to find out if anything wrong is there.
That Google, WordPress team, they have to identify, no? That's what.
No. It is not about the WordPress
It is
team,
public
but
exploit.
yeah, it's a public exploit, and once it is reported, they may fix it, but sometimes it may happen. So it may be the case. We could use a system in a more secure way, and all the vulnerabilities that have been identified make it patched as soon as possible. Okay, so let's try to contribute as much as we can to the community, and definitely it will be giving us back. And also we also try to inject a script on our site, and then I do recommend this site check security.net, and you can check your application, online application to through this security.net, and it just detected 3 of the systems. Okay, so malwares there. So there are so many systems, there are so many applications, and there are so many websites on the net for better security. So let's think about that and keep on using them on a periodic manner. It's not a one-time job. Like once you have installed a system and once you have checked your system through some scanners, then the work is not finished yet. So we have to make it a periodic job, and someone must be responsible to do these actions time and again.
We are going to show how website with shared server can be hacked. First of all, we have to upload a symlinking script, and we have to know either the website WordPress configuration file is readable or not. We have to get database information from there. So I'll be showing. You can see the username over here. ABHIGRAH, and now we are going to symlink our file. This is the path of our web server, home/obgria/WordPress configuration.file, and we are going to convert our PSV file into TXT file, because we won't be able to read PSV file from our shared servers, so we will be converting this into the TXT file. Okay. You can also see some cases that when your web server information and PHP warnings are being displayed, like in this plugin when I click install. Like you can see, you can get my path to web server from this type of information. We can receive a PHP warning in php.inf file, or we can also do it from some security plugins. Now we get back to our WordPress configuration file, that which we converted to .txt file. Okay, now we can get our database information from here, right? And there are some automated Python scripts which can hack all dynamic websites by grabbing all this database information at a single shot. And now we are going to connect to this database. But we won't be exploiting this.
For education purpose.
Yeah, this is just for educational purpose. Please don't try in other servers.
No, there's some problem in this sometimes in the premium plugin also. How many of us you have used Revolution Slide?
Yeah, we have got.
There is some problem in Ribbon side. They updated now,
Yeah, they have got local file inclusion vulnerability with them.
Yeah, no, we can download that WP config directly from that.
Yeah, that is what I call local file inclusion. You can grab any of the server files. You can read any server files from that plugin, because we have file inclusion vulnerability. There are two types. One is remote file inclusion and other is local file inclusion. In local file inclusion, we can access some sensitive information like etc password and like WordPress configuration file in case of WordPress. Yeah, now we are in the database of Abhigriha in the same shared server. Now we can go and update our RP key, which is used to update the admin password, or we can directly update the WordPress hash to get into the abhigriha.org, abhigrihanepal.org. But we are not going to exploit this. This is our own server. You can see the here. You can see all database here. And everyone knows that your password are stored in WP_users, but in case this website has got modified database prefix, so sometimes hacker is unable to get the WordPress prefix files. So in generally WordPress recommends to change the WordPress table prefix just for this reason.
WordPress and all the other frameworks or content management systems, that we should not be using the default table prefix and all these things. Super ID, super user ID, that should be changed. Default admin paths.
Or we can also type command here to execute. We can also execute command directly here. So to protect this type of vulnerabilities, we need to protect our WP configuration files. Whenever you log in from hosting provider or like you log in from FTP, you will be able to access your WordPress configuration files. But by generally, if you upload any PSC file to access your WordPress configuration file, you won't be able to access if you have correct file permission like 440 or 440 or 400. So this was for cell exploitation, and I'll be talking other topic about how many of you remember this W3 total case username has extract vulnerability in past. In this vulnerability, choosing a strong password is the main thing. That hacker is able to get your username password has, but he won't be able to crack your password if you have some special characters in it. But if you are going to choose some random numeric password, they are going to brute force like 10.0 to 10.9, or they can crack it from dictionary as well. And here researcher is showing how he exploits the W3 total case vulnerability. It has some contrast problem. And you can see the password hash of salted password hash of admin being shown here. And if you have weak password, hacker can easily crack that. But if you have strong password, you won't be cracking it until the next century. Under certain conditions, the contributor is able to hack administrator if we can exploit successfully. But WordPress installation need to have some importing plugin for that. We can hijack cookies of administrator, we can log in on his behalf, and we can give privilege to the contributor to administrator.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
What are the basic approaches that you suggest us that beside using the plugin, security plugin,
Yeah.
what are the basic approaches that we can adopt?
Basic approaches that you can use is you can use hot access rule to protect your website. RxS role, what it does is it prevents you from XSX injection, SQL injection, local file inclusion, remote file inclusion, and a lot of major vulnerability. And sometimes it is seen that SQL injection vulnerabilities are exploited, and it has been changed by hackers to attack with a CSRF attack, because some plugins are found to be vulnerable only when you try to inject, only admin try to inject, and what they does is they hide their injection code in image file or iframe file, and they try to make you visit that code. Okay, you can see this premium theme which is available for free. Nobody wants to buy premium theme if he is getting theme for free, which costs like $60, $70. You can download from this website, but what is the problem behind this is you are not getting any updates from the company. You are not getting any updates, you are not getting any fix for the vulnerabilities in these themes. So we should not use any pirated themes like this, because it has a lot of security concerns in it. Thank you everyone.